From the murky waters of the sportsman's paradise, stories emerge. Stories of the generations of people who have shared in the bounties of the land. Stories of communities that have persevered through natural disasters. Stories of the abundance of fish, wildlife, and adventures that create an ecosystem rich in diversity. And from the silted banks of the mighty Mississippi to the soggy marsh bottoms, from the tops of towering pine forests to the depths of the salty Gulf, human and animal have shared this fortune for centuries. Enjoy these stories as told by outdoor journalists who travel across our state, documenting the adventure, sportsmanship, and heritage that make us Bayou Wild.
On this week's episode, we soar to a different height, focusing on feathers, talons, and beaks, not as a hunter, but as a companion. We learn about the ancient form of hunting known as falconry.
Here we go, here we go. Wow.
And how a select few still practice it today.
She's anxious, she's ready to go.
We also explore human fascination with our national bird, the bald eagle, and how a few generous outdoors enthusiasts plan to maintain the presence of a local icon.
We're just keeping our fingers crossed and hoping and praying that they'll eventually use the man-made platform to build a nest.
Closed captioning made possible by Ceto.com. Become a member.
Hi, I'm Donnie Rouse. There are a lot of different reasons to shop at Rouse's.
It's the people. Everybody that works here is just so nice.
Our stores get deliveries 7 days a week.
They have such a wide variety at Rouse's. Everything's in stock. I mean, everything.
We use Rouse family recipes and ingredients found right here in the store.
It's the food. Rouse's food tastes like homemade.
And they're local.
Like us.
We also have great prices.
That's the difference Rouse's makes.
If you're lucky enough to bag a deer or a hog this season, bring it here to Double D.
Double D processes hogs and exotic game and guarantees your product is always the meat you brought to Double D.
Double D Meats in Bogalusa, home of country smoked, spicy jalapeno cheddar, and other customized flavors.
Bring your deer or your hog here to Double D, where you always get your meat back in return. It's worth a drive to Bogalusa from anywhere. Double D.
I won this boat fishing the CCA Star Tournament. Felt surreal for about a week.
My name is Amelia, and I'm from Abbeville, and I won this boat.
There's 100 redfish waiting. It all starts Memorial Day weekend. Sign up today.
Have you ever thought of going hunting and your weapon had wings? You may have what it takes to be a master falconer. Falconry is the practice of hunting wild animals by means of a trained bird of prey. The sport is also sometimes called hawking or game hawking. Meet Vanna and Mercury, two Harris hawks and the best hunting buddies of Alan Meir.
For me, man, it's extremely peaceful, organic, and just natural. It's amazing to see what these birds are capable of doing.
This is Bo. He's about, I would say, 6 months old. And he's new. I mean, I've only had him about 30, 40 days at the most. He's racked up quite a bit since I've had him.
Some historical accounts suggest falconry can be traced back to the days of Mesopotamia and is practiced today from China to Europe to the United States.
Come on, girl.
He looking. Oh yeah. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Wow.
Those who practice this form of hunting are truly dedicated to their sport. The process to become a licensed falconer can take years.
Become a falconer, first of all, you have to become an apprentice. You have to have a sponsor. You either have to have a general falconer or a master sponsor you. You have to study books, you got to take a test, you got to build a mew, you got to have the falconry equipment like the jesses, the anklets, the bow perch, the watering pan, things that are necessary to keep a bird happy. Red-tail hawk, you can hunt with a kestrel, you can hunt with a red-shouldered hawk and a Cooper's hawk.
A falconer gains his feathered hunting companion by trapping a wild hawk or falcon. Then, through a process called manning, trains the bird. The most popular game to hunt is rabbit or squirrel.
She'll hunt waterfowl, she'll hunt ducks. You know, she's already killed a couple of ducks. You got to go to a Harris hawk or possibly a goshawk to actually catch upland game, a faster bird, an accipiter.
It's absolutely fascinating to watch a bird do what it does naturally. We're down on the ground and we're not seeing what it's honing in on. So watching the bird from the tree spot a target that we can't see and actually fly down to attack it is pretty incredible when you see it close up.
Here we go, here we go. Wow. Got it, baby, got it.
She has it secure.
I got started in it roughly 12 years ago. I was a motorcycle enthusiast. I went down on a bike going 50, hurt myself. Just decided to get into it. I was really enraptured by the sport. And I had my first sponsor, a guy by the name of Jesse Mathern. And he walked me through the process, and I became an apprentice, passed the test, then eventually a general, and now I'm a master.
Well, I trapped Amarillo. I guess it's been about 6-7 weeks now. So she's a new bird. She's a juvenile hawk. I refer to them as passage birds.
It's hard to explain. I mean, it's a connection, I mean, like nothing else. I mean, I raise beagles and I still do a little bit of that, but this has pretty much taken over my life.
The relationship that you build with a bird over a period of time, over the years, some of these birds, you almost get the feeling that they have a second sense about where they want you. The bird will actually, I get the feeling sometimes the bird looks down at me and says, you need to get around the other side of that tree. She's anxious, she's ready to go.
There's a bird named Ernie. He's a male Harris hawk, captive bred here in Louisiana. He's 7 years old and he has caught just about everything that you can catch with a hawk.
You're involved in the hunt so much. You know, they're watching you, you watching them, and they know what they're there for. It's nothing like it.
One of the nice things about falconry is that you can see something pretty spectacular just about every day. To see your little hawk grab hold of that jackrabbit and wind him up and hold him until you get there is pretty special.
Females got more crashing power. They can hit the briars a lot harder than a male. A male can't hit it as hard. Male's a lot quicker. If you're going to strictly target squirrels, then you're going to look for a male about 900,000 grams. And that's it, because they're twice as fast as this female. I work with this bird 3 times a week. I got a golf course behind my house. She chases squirrels all the time, at least 3 or 4 times a week.
It's more of a lifestyle than a type of hunting. You can't take a hawk and put it in a closet at the end of the hunting season. It becomes part of the family.
I think the foundation of the relationship is based on food, but I could see it in their eyes. They know in the morning when they step on the scale what we're going to do. You know, they definitely know me, and I think they look forward to each morning that we go out. They love this.
The art of falconry unites two creatures who live in very different worlds as partners sharing one common goal. Maybe we aren't so different after all.
Good job today, Mercury.
Coming up next, from a bird of prey as a companion to a cultural icon, we admire the bald eagle and its presence amongst us in Louisiana.
We're looking in these trees up here behind us, and there's one, two, there goes one right now. Oh gosh, look at that go through there. Look how amazing that bird is. Look at him. This is the epicenter. This is the epicenter of all bald eagles in South Louisiana. I get so excited and jazzed about this. But yeah, you just saw two southern bald eagles right here in the Atchafalaya Basin behind us. So great, isn't it?
Place where I know I belong. I belong. I'm gonna see my heart beating with the freedom of the love of the home that I know is where I'm from.
Hi, I'm Miss Louisiana Holly Conway on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I'm sure you know that clean, affordable propane gas is used in houses across our state. It's used in cooking, hot water heaters, drying clothes, and heating homes. But did you know that if you ever run out of propane, you need a certified dealer to inspect your system for leaks before it's refilled? That's the law. Propane is a safe and exceptional energy source, and we want to keep it that way.
The iconic whooping crane is back in Louisiana. If you spot a whooping crane, remember, observe and admire it from a distance, and always report any harmful activity. You can always help the Louisiana whooping cranes thrive by donating to lawff.org.
Thank you to Chevron and the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Foundation for their generous support.
Having a bird as a hunting companion is exciting, but for outdoor photographers, their enthusiasm lies in observing them in their natural environment.
We're looking in these trees up here behind us, and there's one, two, there goes one right now. Oh gosh, look at that go through there. Look how amazing that bird is. Look at him. This is the epicenter. This is the epicenter of all bald eagles in South Louisiana. I get so excited and jazzed about this.
In his book, Louisiana Birding, Stories of Strategy, Stewardship, and Serendipity, author John Flores writes about Louisiana's role in the recovery of the American bald eagle from its once nearly extinct status.
And one of the areas that he has recovered is right here around Morgan City. So you can look up in this tree, this cypress tree that's probably 100 yards from us, and you can see the massive nest that's up here in this tree. And each year these eagles come back to that same tree and they use it over and over and over again.
The population of bald eagles in Morgan City has seen an increase.
The eagle is coexisting with industry. He's coexisting with, the urban centers where we have a trash dump. And here he is just miles away in the Atchafalaya Basin. And so it's kind of neat to come out here and see these in the Atchafalaya Basin in their wild environment.
But in the Morganza Spillway, a lone nest has become a local icon.
We had a local bird watcher, Mr. Dale Guston, who kept records concerning birds in this area, and particularly in the forebay of the Morganza Spillway. And so his records indicated the first bald eagle that he sighted was in 1996. The existing nest right now that they've nested in this year is their third nest.
When the Mississippi expands its banks, the Morganza Spillway transitions from farmlands to a vast expanse of floodwater.
This area used to be largely timbered. A couple of 100 acres of oak is what was here. The frequent flooding over time killed all of that timber.
The resident bald eagle here has kept a watchful eye over the area for decades.
The existing tree that the eagles are nesting in today is 99% dead. My wife told me a couple of years ago we got to do something about that. Build an artificial platform or something, because the public enjoys that nest being there, and at least give the eagles an option to build close to the road where everybody can enjoy them in the future.
In an effort to keep the eagle a spillway resident, a man-made platform has been constructed.
Double checked with the state wildlife and fisheries agencies to make sure that there were if there were any regulations we needed to follow or guidelines, and there were none. As well as we checked with the Corps of Engineers because this nest is in a floodway. It's privately owned land, but it's a floodway. And we just checked with them to make sure driving a pole, digging a hole that deep was not going to be a problem, and it was not. So we had a green light from all agencies, and Wildlife and Fisheries came out and participated in actually erecting the pole. They sent an agent out to participate in that day. We erected this nest this year after the bald eagles had already laid eggs in the existing nest. We're just keeping our fingers crossed and hoping and praying that they'll eventually use the man-made platform to build a nest. If we're successful with this one, or perhaps even if we're not, we may build one or two more platforms in the future in the same area.
One of the things that always intrigues me, and some of the things that people don't consider about birds, is simply that the health of the bird population can be directly correlated to the health of a human population. And so that's a tribute to how well these birds have recovered.
Bald eagles are still a rare thing to see for most people in Louisiana, although the population is increasing. But it's the easy access and visibility of this particular nest that makes it such a popular spot.
I think birds of prey fascinate people because they have so few predators of their own. They are pretty much the hierarchy of the bird species. They can perch higher than most animals. They really don't have a lot of enemies. In fact, at the top of my head, I really couldn't tell you one. So seeing them with their kind of higher echelon of hunting really puts them in kind of a higher perspective, and I think people look at them a little differently than they do your average crow or bird around the house.
I've been using Louisiana fish fry products so much, even the kids are getting into it.
Flannel bag, pour and boil, a great crawfish every time.
And whether you're boiling crawfish, shrimp, or crabs, Louisiana fish fry products use the perfect blend of garlic, onion, spices, and salt for your seafood boils. So look for the bright yellow bag and pour and boil with Louisiana fish fry products.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook. In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
And welcome to the kitchen of Chef John Folse here at White Oak Plantation in Baton Rouge. Chef, we got another mouth-watering recipe today. What are we going to be cooking?
Man, I love to hear when somebody tells me Don Dubuque's coming to White Oak. Boy,
I love to hear it too.
That's a good day. You know, you're an oyster lover, right?
Oh, am I? From way back.
You know, one of the things that I think is so intriguing about Louisiana is that we have such a wide scope of seafood, as you know better than anybody, that people are constantly looking to share their recipes of what they're doing with redfish or what they're doing with speckled trout or whatever, oysters included. And I'm always searching myself for these kind of great recipes. So knowing Louisiana was such a good oyster culture, I started to look at some of the early recipes, and I found one that was called oyster pan roast.
That.
Now I have some Bayou oysters here. You know, that area of the Gulf is so fantastic, and we do a lot of oysters at Revolution. So I'm starting off in this black iron skillet, and I'm gonna put butter in here. And when the butter hits this skillet, you know, you're gonna get a nice browning, which is important. in the oyster pan roast. Now, why they call it the pan roast is, I guess, just because they're doing it over a nice hot open fire. You're browning your butter first, and nothing is better flavored in a dish than burned or browned butter. You know that, right? Huh? So we're gonna have a little bit of this in here. And then, of course, we have the seasonings I'm gonna put in. A little shallots, a little garlic, a little green onions, a little onions are going in there as well. Saute that around for just a second. And you see how that brown butter is starting to burn noir, they call this. Burn noisette, some people call it. But you can see how beautiful that butter's browning. Now, now we're going to put in a little bit flour. You see that flour right in front? Just kind of dust about half of it in here. We're going to make a little light brown, a little light roux. We're not going to make that's plenty right there. So I don't want to brown it too much. I want you to put a little bit of that red paprika in here, about half of it, because the oyster pan roast is always a reddish color. So you want to put that paprika in there to give it that color. Some people think it's tomato, but it's not. It's just that fire roasted. A little bit of that oyster liquid. You see it right there? You can pour it all in there. You can pour it all in. So this is where we're going to make our sauce. So that roux is going to thicken beautifully. We're going to move that around nicely. Now it's got that good oyster flavor. Now we're going to sacrifice half of those oysters and half of that crab meat in here. Just dump about half of those oysters in. In fact, I'll help you out there. That's good enough right there. And of course, these are just shucked last night.
Now you say sacrifice. We're not getting rid of this.
Oh no, no.
Okay.
We're just gonna just cook these to sacrifice it to flavor. We always keep half of it for the finished dish. So you already know this is gonna be good, huh? Oysters and lump crab.
Ooh, how can you go wrong?
So you see that beautiful orange color. Now Don, give me about half of that cream you have right there in that little cream pitcher. Just dump it on in there like that. That's about right. I'll swirl that around and give me the rest of that paprika. So I want that nice rusty color. Imagine the flavor in here now with that beautiful lump crab meat and that gorgeous oyster liquid. So we're just going to continue to cook this, and when we come back, we're going to show you how we finish it up, okay?
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with Oyster Pan Roast with Chef John Folse. Here's how I guarantee my crawfish tastes great every time. I use Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Why do the pros use Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil?
Because the flavor is so good.
It has more garlic, onion, paprika, lemon, and not too much salt.
It has much better flavor.
Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Find the yellow bag and pour and boil for great crawfish every time.
Hi, I'm Donnie Rouse. There are a lot of different reasons to shop at Rouse's.
It's the people. Everybody that works here is just so nice.
Our stores get deliveries 7 days a week.
They have such a wide variety at Rouse's. Everything's in stock. I mean, everything.
We use Rouse family recipes and ingredients found right here in the store.
It's the food. Rouse's food tastes like homemade.
And they're local.
Like us.
We also have great prices.
That's the difference Rouse's makes.
Welcome back to White Oak Plantation, a kitchen of John Folse. And John, we've got a pan oyster roast going on. Tell us a little bit about how we got to this point.
Well, you know, we went ahead and put a little butter and then our normal seasonings, onion, celery, bell pepper, garlic. Then into that we put a little oyster liquid. And you can get oyster liquid either out of the gallon or when you shuck the oyster, just make sure you put the liquid in another little pan. But the oysters are 50% liquid anyway, so they're going to fill up the pot. And then, of course, we added a little of our crab meat to it because the crab is going to give it a lot of great flavor. And you can eliminate the crab if you don't want to put it in. A little paprika and cream went into it. Now we put in a little salt and pepper, a little garlic. You can put a couple pinches of that parsley right there if you don't mind. And I'm going to put a little Worcestershire sauce, which is always good.
Could you use shrimp or crawfish instead of the crab?
Oh, my God, sure you can. Any shellfish, and I think you're just kind of piling on because in Louisiana we like to pile on, so I think the crab meat went in just to try to beat the guy in New York because he wasn't going to have that jumbo lunch.
He's giving up. We just got a text message. He's done.
He's done.
He gives up.
So, Don, if you pick up that little platter right there, and look at here, guys. Now, this is a dish that you can put in the oven with a little Parmesan cheese on top of it if you want to make like a gratin, or you can go ahead and put it just like this out near the barbecue pit when folks are waiting for that redfish to come off of the grill or whatever, and you serve it with little croutons, and down you can put a little sprinkle of that beautiful green parsley and some cheese on top of it. Oh, look how nice that is. It's a beautiful dish. It's a dish with unbelievable flavor, and it's a unique and historic dish with two chefs trying to decide for themselves who had the best oyster dish. And you know what? The guy in New York was behind the eight ball from the beginning.
We declare it the winner. Right here from the kitchen of John Folse, White Oak Plantation.
Oyster pan roast.
My neighbor Tony, he looked at me and said, "Man, you're crazy. You're about to leave out in this weather." And I said, "Sir, I have a tagfish to go catch."
I won this beautiful boat catching a tag redfish in Venice, Louisiana.
There's 100 redfish waiting. It all starts Memorial Day weekend. Sign up today.
Whooping cranes are back in Louisiana. Through the hard work of biologists and key strategic partners, whooping cranes have been restored back to the cultural icon they once held. But you can still help. To donate to the Whooping Crane program, visit lawff.org. Thank you to Chevron and the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Foundation for their generous support. Hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Bayou Wild TV. We'll be back again next week. But until then, if you want to keep up with us,
check us out on social media. We have a Bayou Wild Instagram page, a Facebook page, and of course you can check out all the full-length shows and recipes on our YouTube channel. Just search Bayou Wild TV.
And don't forget, get your shirts and your hats, Bayou Wild Collection. All right, don't forget, you can always find us here in Madisonville. Mondays we come out here and tape the show at Morton's Seafood Restaurant and Bar. Give them a call and check out what days and times will be.